If it wasn't for fun, life couldn't survive. He is the one that we need, like the sunshine. If it wasn't for fun, life couldn't survive. He is the one that we need, like the sunshine.
I'm a mystery, the mist don't mean shit to me. I come from the rain, but that's just some ancient history. A savior was born when God created spores. Find me on the end of your stick like you're making s'mores. Symbiotic exchange, yeah, we save resources. The flow's balanced, it allows us all to stay in orbit. Psilocybin, I can show you where the sacred source is. Make your spine stand up like a stegosaurus. I'm the reason that your lungs are breathing. Whether or whether not you wanna believe it, I eat you in.
If it wasn't for fun, life couldn't survive. He is the one that we need, like the sunshine. If it wasn't for fun, life couldn't survive. He is the one that we need, like the sunshine.
I'm a mystery, the mist don't mean shit to me. I come from the rain, but that's just some ancient history. A savior was born when God created spores. Find me on the end of your stick like you're making s'mores. Symbiotic exchange, yeah, we save resources. The flow's balanced, it allows us all to stay in orbit. Psilocybin, I can show you where the sacred source is. Make your spine stand up like a stegosaurus. I'm the reason that your lungs are breathing. Whether or whether not you wanna believe it, I eat you in.
What's happening, everybody? Alright, so I suppose if I want to get this video out without getting a strike on my channel, I have to put out some sort of warning saying this video is for entertainment purposes only. Don't attempt what I do at home. I don't know, this is all bullshit. YouTube is fucked, so I got to put out some sort of warning saying don't do what I do. With that said, let's move on. So I was over at a buddy's house yesterday, and he told me he had some mushrooms growing in his front yard, and I found this beautiful indigo milk cap. So I decided I'm going to turn this into some art. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my plaster of Paris, fill this up, get this submerged down into it, let it cure, and then I'm going to incinerate the milk cap out of what this is going to be, which is going to be my mold, to pour some copper down into, maybe aluminum, I don't know. Check out the gills. I'll get all of that detail in my casting. If it all comes out looking good, I'll get all of that down there, the substrate. So yeah, it's gonna look good when I'm done. I hope. Fingers crossed. Alright, so I went out to my shed and got my plaster of Paris, and I got extremely lucky. We had some record-breaking rain here a few weeks back, and the room that I keep my plaster in got flooded. Half the bag. The bottom half of the bag got wet. The top half stayed powder, so I got extremely lucky. I need to get some water. Hold on. I'm going to pause you for a moment. No, we're going to... Hold on, wrong button. We're going to pause you for a moment. Alright, I got some water. So I probably should have just put it in this originally. I'm going to need more than that. Hopefully this is going to be enough. And as soon as I start pouring my plaster in here, that's when I have to start working quickly. So what I'm going to do now, got a couple of toothpicks here. Sink them right down into the stem. So I got a way to hold on to it. actually submerge it below the plaster, or well, into the plaster. That should work. All right, now I just start adding a whole bunch of plaster. I hope I didn't add too much water. I'm sure there is a science to how much plaster or how much water you're supposed to add to your plaster, but honestly, I never read the directions. And chances are I would change it up anyway. So yeah, we're going to use quite a bit of plaster in here. I should have a fan going. Or a respirator. Yeah, I should definitely have a respirator. Told you not to do what I do at home. You've been warned. Just gonna keep adding. Maybe that's enough. Not even close. Can't put a wet spoon back into my dry plaster. It would create a lumpy mess. I have a feeling I'm going to have to dump some of this water out. Oh, I'm recording, so a train is coming. That's the first train that's passed by my house in about 2 hours. Fuck you. I hate that train. Alright, I'm gonna bring this outside and dump a little bit of that water out. I'll be right back. Alright, got rid of some of that water. I can always add more if it's needed. Couldn't find a can in my supplies that were really a good fit for the milk cap, so I'm stuck using this big ass coffee can. Almost where I need to be with the consistency. Just sprayed the shit all over my face. Normally I keep my plaster in this container right here, but I knew what that wasn't going to be enough, so I just went out and grabbed more. So after I get this to the right consistency, I'll bring the whole thing downstairs into my room where my vibratory tumbler is, and touch this can right to the vibratory tumbler while it's on, and that will lift all of the air bubbles out of the plaster, including the air bubbles that will be stuck in between the gills. Almost there. Really close. Damn, this larger coffee can that I'm holding in my hand right now is full before I started this. I'm getting to the point where if I add too much plaster, that's going to be an issue. So close. I'm almost to the consistency I want it at, or I need to be at. Yeah, this is where I need it to be right now. Finish getting out those lumps. Now I bring the whole thing downstairs. Yeah, my metal melting room and my basement, that also got flooded. I haven't turned on my furnace since. There was 2 inches of water in my basement. It's the first time in about 10 years since I've lived here I had any water in my basement. That was an unpleasant surprise. Alright, I need to get this moving. Alright, I'm going to pause you for a moment. Okay, you've only been on pause here for about 60 seconds. Let's find out if I waited too long to get this shit set up or get in there. Can you see? Yeah, you can see. The mushroom is less dense than the plaster itself, so it's trying to float the mushroom up as it vibrates. That vibration also helps me move the mushroom around in the plaster before it's set up. That vibration makes it difficult to get the mushroom where I want it to be. There are still bubbles floating up. I don't know if you can see them or not, but I'm not trying to adjust the camera right now. It's kind of difficult keeping this mushroom held in place, centered, while it's vibrating like this. But it is necessary because the gills, the plaster won't flow down in between the gills if I don't get all the air out. Yeah, this is setting up fast. The vibration also kind of pulls a little bit of the excess water out and floats it right to the top, which causes the plaster to set real fast. See, it's still trying to float up a little bit. Put it back on the vibrator here, get it pushed back down a little bit. There are still bubbles floating up. I don't want to fuck this up, so I'm going to pull it off here now. Get it sunk down in there and hold it there for a few minutes. Again, the vibrations are helping me move it around where I need it to be, but it's also kind of pushing it around where it wants to be. That's about as good as I'm going to get it. So I don't know if you saw that whole process. But that's my process. This is how I get my mushrooms casted in silver, in copper, and aluminum. So hopefully that's not going to float. I'm going to get a fan on that to help it cure a little faster. I really just need it to set up. After it sets up, I can throw it right in my incinerator. The incinerator will force all of the water to boil out. Although normally I let it set up and sit for about 24 hours before I throw it in my incinerator. I don't know if it's really necessary, but I know if I let it set too long, the longer I let these set and cure and try to evaporate as much moisture out as I can before I incinerate the mushroom out of it, that's normally when my molds get destroyed. So I started putting them in the incinerator while it's still wet, and I started having better success. So that's the process. Next video, I will have a clip of it going into the incinerator, and hopefully getting some material poured down into the cavity that's going to be left over, and we'll take it from there. All right, so I'm going to end this one here. Much love, everyone. I'll talk to you all soon.